Okay, a little bit too much. Okay, 10 gram exactly. Right, so again, I'm going to dose right into the grinder of the DF64, which is fitted with the SSP CV Burr. Right, let me turn the camera. Hopefully you can catch a better view. How this is done just now. Maybe because just now was cut off because the camera position. So right now, open the cover. I will dose directly inside. Right, and I'm going to grind directly into the cup, my blind shaker. Right, and we're going to measure. Right, exactly 10 gram. Right, so you can see it is actually zero retention grinder, especially with my version 2 of the decomper installed. So again, this is the larger size sieve. So let's close up the bottom catcher. Right, again, you can see I'm just going to drop everything on top. Okay, let's do it this way, right? So let me zero out the so let me zero this out so that this will be 0, and I'm going to drop all the coffee inside. Okay, it is registering slightly more. Okay, let me check why is that so. Okay, anyway, I think probably because I vibrate the scale, and the scale is registering a slightly different readings, but we know that unshaking this behind the camera, and then let's see how much fine coffee. Oops, okay, I should have pressed this, right? So let's see how much. You can see the amount of fine coffee powder that's been sieved out. Okay, let me get another plate. So there is actually about 1.8 grams. You can see from here, 1.8 grams of fine coffee powder that has the particle size of lesser than 1000 micron, which is about 0.5 gram away from my from what I've discovered just now. So I would say that maybe the particles that's ranging that for the second part of the video, this is the part whereby we'll be tasting the coffee, and to find out at the grind size of 65, if I remove all the fine coffee powder that is smaller than 1000 micron, how would that affect the taste, right? With the the original grind without any sieving, right? So I'm just going to grind another 10 grams. Right, and this time this will not do any sieving on this one, and we just brew directly with this 10 gram, and then we're going to have a taste of the filtered coffee, right? The grind size is still the same, it's at 65. Right, exactly 10 grams. So I can say for the 3 consecutive time we grind coffee, I almost get about 0.1 gram at the maximum of retention, whatever things I put into the grinder, right? At the grind setting of 65, and my grinder is actually pretty clean. There's not much static, there's no mess on the exit chute or whatsoever, right? So I'm going to just do it quickly. So I'm going to make the first pot without sieving, right? So let me heat up the paper. Right, let's tear this out and then reset the timer, and then we're going to dose directly into it. So you can see this blind shaker is really very useful. Okay, so I'm going to use water at 96 degrees Celsius. So let's just give it a short while to heat up. And then I'm going to run a 1:15 ratio. So I'm going to pour about 150 grams of water. I'll bloom for 30 seconds for maybe about 30 grams of water. Then after that, I will just do a one straight pour all the way to 150. Right, okay. So let's bloom for 30 seconds. I'll be fast forwarding this section after this. So I'll pour all the way until I hit 150 grams of water. Right, exactly 150 grams. Right, and while waiting for that, let me get ready some cup glasses. I'm just going to get 2 glasses, and I'll try to heat it up as well. Right, it takes about, let me see, there's still some water behind. Right, the total drawdown time, including the blooming, is about 1.5 minutes. So let's pour this out into the first cup here. Right, so this will be the cup without any sieving, so I'll put it around here. So let's proceed to make another one. So the second one, Because there's only about 8 grams of coffee remaining, so I'll be using slightly lesser water to keep the ratio consistent. So 8 gram times 15 will be about 120 grams of water, right? So remember that we have coffee that's retaining in this 3Bomber sieve cup here. So I'm just going to drop all the coffee inside. So this is the one that has any particle size with smaller than 100 micron being sieved out. Again, 30-second bloom. Okay, I'll wait for about 30 seconds. Right, the water passes through significantly faster. In fact, in about 23 seconds, the water has really passed through. So I'm going to just top up water all the way to 120 grams so that I can keep the same ratio of 1:15. Right, about 120 grams. It just hit about 1 minute mark. About 1 minute 20 seconds. Yep, the drawn down is completed in about 1 minute 20 seconds. So this pot actually drained 10 seconds faster. So now let's try to pour this out, and then we try to taste the coffee. For us to try the coffee, right? So this first cup is the one without any sieving, and this is the cup with sieving, right? If you look closely in the color, right, without sieving, you can see that the volume, even though I pour more water, right, but you can see the amount of water that's coming out is significantly less. So that shows that the fine coffee powder is extracted, and the fine coffee powder actually absorbs a significant amount of water, much more than the one with sieving. So this cup, you can see the color is also slightly lighter, right? And yeah, it's definitely a lot cleaner. It's almost like tea. The one with sieve, right? And this is the one without sieving. So you can see the color is deeper and richer, right? So I guess the taste will also be a lot of difference, right? So let's taste the cup from the one without sieving, right? It's very enjoyable. Definitely Seah if you like filter coffee and you like the sweeter side of coffee, which this coffee actually highlight the sweetness. Yeah, and it's I can definitely taste the complexity in the tasting note. Yep, so it's heightened sweetness and it's a lot more complex. It's a very nice cup of coffee, alright? Okay, so now let me get some water to rinse my mouth. Okay, so now let's try the one with all the fine coffee powder being sieved out. Oh my god. There is still sweetness. It is super clean, right? Super clean, and if I compare the sweetness level between this cup and this is like 10 times sweeter. Yeah, so the fine coffee powder not only improves the complexity, it also adds a sweetness inside the coffee. right? I think it's because the coffee is more extracted, and of course I should probably the next time I'll use a TDS meter to try to see the extraction level of the two coffee with fine coffee powder and without the fine coffee powder, right? So this will be interesting. I'll be doing this in the next episode. So yep, so this one is clean. The complexity is totally gone. That's the coffee become like very tea-like. The tasting will become very linear. It is still sweet, but the sweetness has been lowered significantly, and the clarity is so high that it doesn't taste like a coffee anymore. It tastes like tea. So I think about the SSB CV Burr, it is all about the fine coffee powder that it produces. It produces about 20% of the fine coffee powder with a particle size lesser than 1000 micron, and that 20% of the fine actually improve the complexity of the cup and improve the sweetness. I believe the extraction rate will also be higher, but we will find that out very soon in the next video, right? So this is CY once again. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope that you find this information interesting and useful. I think it's sort of an expected outcome because, you know, fine coffee powder tend to add the complexity there. But something that's interesting to that I've discovered is it doesn't change the fact that the coffee is still sweet. The coffee produced by the SSB cast version of the Burr is still sweet. Just that if you remove the fine coffee powder, the coffee becomes very linear in taste. It becomes very clean, and it becomes something like a diluted version of this, right? Without the complexity. When I say diluted, means the sweetness has been lowered tremendously, right? So it is not an enjoyable cup as this one, right? Because the reason why I get the CV Burr is because of the complexity and the heightened sweetness, right? So this is Sieving once again. Thanks for joining me. If you have not subscribed to my channel, remember to hit the subscribe button and like my videos. And we have also started our channel memberships. Do consider supporting us. Monthly is about $5 or $7 Singapore currency, right? This will help us to buy more stuff so that we can actually show in front of you and how this gadget works. We will not be focusing so much on the gadgets, but since we have already got the dealership from 3Bomber, we like to share with all of you out there how each of their gadget works. I may not be able to get all range of their product, but we'll try to cover a big scope so that we can share with you their whatever they come out with, right? So, and I like this, right? It is I think it's so much easier to use as compared to the Groove Sieve, right? It is a lot more convenient, right? So thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.